Alright, so now I got her at least flown into place. So I'll set it down and take it off the pallet there, and then keep working to try and get this thing put in there. So this is a goofy time of year where it's frozen in the morning, and in probably about 2 or 3 hours I'm going to be laying in water. So I'm going to shoot this sheet of plywood over top of the tarp there. Just try and keep it as clean and dry as possible. And then I realized the dips upside down, so I'm going to have to give it a spin in the air before I can flip it and stab it in there. Keep chugging. There, flipped. Well, now when someone restores this truck 30 years from now, they'll know that it's a 456 ratio, and they'll have a nice new tag to identify it. Alright, so now I'm going to get the chain fall to that fork, and then I can control it manually, nice and slow and steady to get it in there. It's interesting, these little holes that they've drilled out, I wonder if that's they've drilled out a certain bit of material to get the yoke balance. But anyway, I'm curious, maybe the viewers out there can help me. So obviously there's the fill plug on the back cover of the differential there where you fill the oil, but then there looks like there's a fill or a chuck plug here, and then there's another one. Where is it? There's another one here, and then there's a drain plug on the power divider. So I have to believe that when you fill it with oil from the back, that the oil's going to drain in and fill up the power divider, you know, halfway, so there's oil in there. But I'm wondering if when you fill it up in the back, you also need to fill these guys, or at least check these guys, or maybe they're just chuck plugs with magnets. So I'm not sure. Manual says just fill it from the back. So the viewers out there have any insights, pass them along. All right, so obviously can't use these hooks because when I press it in there, it'll have to go over top of the studs. So I'm going to use some different rigging off these bolts on the power divider. I know people are probably going to say, why'd you take that out? But I didn't see another way to do it. I mean, I could strap it, but then there's little control, and if it ever slid off of there, it'd drop it. I just don't want to do that. So this is at the top. I'm going to put another one probably right here, and then sling to that. But what I'll do is when I retorque these, I'll put a little more Permatex in there and shoot them back. Again, it's on the top, so there's not a lot of oil loading. It's just going to be splashing, and I just needed something to really keep it controlled to rig off of. So hopefully that works. Okay, so I got off the fork. Now I'm just gonna, I got it off the pallet. Chain fall. Turn. The yoke being the crossroads here. I'll set it down and then I'll re-pick it off the other fork. That way it goes over top. I'm just a fan of chainsaws because you got a lot more control, especially doing this by myself. Don't be turning now. Down. Alright, now just give her a little lift. Work smarter, not harder. Alright, getting closer. I'll just lift her up and swing her in there. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing in here without wrecking anything. Slow and steady. Whoa, whoa. Problem is that through shaft is on these older units, it's still part of the assembly, and I don't want to damage it at all. Just trying to go nice and slow. Heavy. That's where I could use a second set of hands. Not down, up. Almost looking like a differential. Now, wonder. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of monkeying around here to get one. Yep. Yeah, this is going to be. I might have to sit it down and re-pick it because she's clocked a little bit. So. Oh well, keep trying. There we go. A little help from my walker jack that one of the viewers gave me a good deal on here in Edmonton. So I appreciate that that help. And yeah, so now she's started on the studs. So now what I need to do is put in the Permatex gasket all the way around. And then just give her a final push in there. Slick. There, that's what she looks like on this side. So it's nice that I got the back cover off because I can do a final check just to make sure there's nothing in there. But with my new shop floor here, I think we actually got it in here without ingesting any dirt or other material. So getting closer. All right, so I got some longer bolts that I used to slide it out on and support it in place, and give me a little more space to get the what do they call it, ultra black Permatex in there. So I'm going to try and lay a bead all the way around and then push it in, give it a squish, and then they say you gotta wait an hour for it to set before you torque it. The problem is it's going to be a real bear to try and get in and around this slack adjuster. It's funny how it's so close on this side, which is why I had to remove the brake booster, and then on this side tons of room. It's not centered, it's sitting a little to the left, but I guess that's the way it's designed. All right, so I put it in there. I got a decent squish all the way around. I'll show you. So again, it says just snug it up and then wait an hour for it to set. I wonder if outside temperature affects that, but I'll wait a good hour and then give her 250 foot-pounds on each of those. Okay, here's the back side. You can see it squished out there, so that should hold some oil in, hopefully. Still looks pretty clean in there. Probably give it one final wipe, and then still got to put the new bearing and seal in the back cover here. And at least this will be a lot easier to put the nice bead on properly. And then we'll put this guy on and should be just about closed up, and moving on to the yokes. Okay, so it's been an hour and I'm just going all the way around and torquing each of the nuts up to
250. It's what the manual calls for. And you can see it's getting a little extra squish out of there, so I'm pleased with that. Should be a nice, good seal. Keep the oil in. And then while I was waiting, I put the new bearing in and pre-lubed it. And then I put this seal in as well. I didn't have a seal punch, but I just kind of worked it all the way around, pounded it as straight as I could. And I was wondering what these notches were for, and then I realized that's why. It's to clear this little hump here, and then of course to clear for the bolt. So yeah, coming together. Okay, now time to work on the back side. This one should be a lot easier. Man, you sure had to eat your Wheaties to get 250 foot-pounds on all those nuts on the front. That was a job and a half. This is much better. Nice little bead around everything. And I'll do a little extra there around the studs. Uh-oh, I'm almost running out. Let's see if we can get this done with one tube. We don't need too much oil at the top. I don't imagine that's where it leaks from. Probably more so down here. Okay. Oh. All right. Good. Let me get that cover on. Okay. So again, I pre-lubed the bearing. Just get one final little clean here. Hopefully this all fits. I'm sure it will. Just came off of here yesterday. Okay. There. Maybe a little love tap to get her all the way in up here. Looking pretty good. I'll put the bolts on. So yeah, I can just snug these guys down, and then we'll start the old hour clock, just like we did on the front. And then we've got the fun part of putting the yokes on. But I was able to borrow a torque multiplier because it calls for 900 foot-pounds on that guy. But the torque multiplier should work, but I think it's still going to be tricky to get that all tight, but all part of the game. All part of the game. All right. Now I put the axles back in for the second time, but I'm getting good at practice at it. So instead of using gasket material, I'm just going to use the gaskets. They clean up a little nicer, but you could use that Permatex if you wanted to on there. All right, let's see if they got the axle clean. Make sure they got the matching splines in this diff. A little bit of something on there. Okay, that better to be clean. Put something else in there. There, in this goes for hopefully the last time. Just for a little while. Come on, baby. Make sure you're the right ones. Oh. Come on. Oh. Closer. Oh, wait. Material. Yeah. There you go. One down. Do the other side and tighten that up. So I got them all tightened, and now we're going to tackle the yokes. To fill oil, make sure you get oil in the bearings, the outer bearings. There's two ways to do it. You can either, there's a little plug, but sometimes they can get seized in there, a plug on the axle hub. where you can dump oil in, or what you can do is fill it up to here, and then the manual says you just got to lift this side up 10 inches, and then what happens is the oil will drain down the axle tube and then leave about a liter of oil that's needed down in the outer bearings and kind of that little sump down there. And then you do the same thing this side, lift it up and it'll dump that way, and then you just re-top up your oil and you should be good to go. So again, I hope this back diff is in solid shape. There was nothing on the magnet when I pulled the drain plug, so it's got fresh oil in it, and we'll see. Just monitor the temps. But now that I look at it, the guy could probably drop this out of here, and then if you had the tires off, you could probably just skid it down and out. You took this brake booster off and you can get it out of there. So hopefully it doesn't need it, but I guess I'm mentally preparing in case it does. But yeah, we'll button her back up and run it as she is for now. So this is a good idea if you're going to tackle one of these projects, is to try and find a maintenance manual. I actually bought this one off of a fellow on eBay, and it's got everything you could ever want. It's fun reading when it's too cold to work outside, but it gives good instruction on putting stuff back together, making sure you do it right. There's also some wiring diagrams and some other good stuff in here. So they're a couple $100 is what they're typically going for on eBay, but worth every penny. Again, if you're gonna try one of these as an old project, or if you got an old 359 that you're trying to keep on the road. Okay, so the goal is to try and get these guys as aligned as possible. So what I did was I leveled the put a level on the front yoke. And then what I'm going to do is try and find the spline. It looks like I got to go one more that way, and to find the splines level on this so they're aligned and we don't get any wobble or shimmy. There, just like that, without squishing your finger as you slide it in. Okay, so then obviously the washer, and then this nut, it's got the little nylon lock deal. So I'm debating whether or not to put any Loctite on there or not. I think that's what this guy is for. Maybe I'll put just a little drop on there and then torque it up. But she's going to be tough getting 900 foot-pounds in here in this close quarters, but we'll figure it out. We've got this far. So this nut's a little different than the back one. It's already got, if you can see it in there, it's already got some red Loctite, and then it's got little dimples there as a kind of a fail-safe to keep it on there. So I'm gonna get that going. I got a 4 to 1 inch impact, and with more torque comes more hazard, so I'm gonna go with a face mask, and I do have an impact socket. I'm not gonna use a chrome socket on that. So, and then here's the torque multiplier. So it's a 4 to 1 deal, so you can put a 1/2 inch drive torque wrench in that guy, and then it's 4 to 1. So you put I guess whatever 200 there, you get 800 here, and it's just geared up with a reaction arm. So that should get me to the 900 I need. Okay, I want to over torque it. I'd rather get her close. So now we'll try the torque multiplier. Get the torque wrench set up and give it a go. Okay, so I got her all set up, but now the problem is this is going to want to turn because it's not connected to the back. Okie doke. Come up with something else. All right, so a little homegrown solution here. I'm gonna put a bar through, but I really don't want to wreck where the U-joints sit, the faces of this. So put some tape in there and I'm going to rig it up so it'll hold against the frame. And that should work for me to tighten the front one. So give her a go. Alright, so we'll try that. Up. Okay. I got the thing torque wrench set at 225. A little bit of flex in this system. At least it's holding it. Oh, I'm getting tired. Running down 200 foot-pounds. How the hell I'm going to do this underneath for the back one? Oh. All right, keep trying. All right, this time I'm holding it a little better with my leg. Come on, baby. Oh, that's a great sound. There, one down. Yeah, just as I thought. This one is no fun at all. So I got the reaction arm in place, but there's just no room to try and get this thing to turn. But I get it one click at a time. I just have to keep fighting with it until I get her tight. Fun, fun. Oh, I do not want to do that again. So after monkeying around with it, I just couldn't get the torque. Because you can't get the leverage sitting in, squished in there. So I put the extension on, and that way I was able to kind of pull up outside of the, from underneath there, and finally get the right torque. So that's it. She is in. That was quite a project. I know there's probably professional mechanics that probably could have done that in a few hours. Took me almost 2 days, but it's in. So I feel pretty good about that. The next project will be drive shafts, and per the instructions you're not supposed to put oil in for 24 hours, so I'll wait on that to put that in there. Oh yeah, I still got to zip up the nuts on there, and I think that's gonna be it for today. I'm pretty beat, but I'm very pleased. Got that in there. I got my forklift back in the garage where she won't sink out of sight once this all starts melting. You probably hear the water running off the camper. I mean, it's just a ridiculously warm day. So, and it was nice. Now I know what a garage floor feels like with this plywood, so I'm pretty happy with the way that worked out. And it's all in there, so I guess next week I can put the drive shafts on. I'll put this center section in, and then probably tackle the sleeper. Those wires hooked up, and then keep working on the inside. But you know, I'm starting to realize that this truck won't be perfect, but she'll be mine. And it'll be as close to perfect as I can get it. And the way I figure it, the harder I have to work putting her together, the better it's going to feel to drive it down the road. So there you go. There's your update, little by little.